Welcome to The Coherent Life. I'm Ty. We're going to kick back and talk about survival mode, coherence, and creating your life on purpose through real conversations about relationships, money, health, and the patterns that keep repeating in everyday life. If you already know that thoughts create reality but keep getting pulled into old patterns, stress, or overwhelm, you're in the right place. Hello. Welcome back to The Coherent Life. This is episode 5. I want to take a moment to celebrate that this is a little milestone. This podcast has had 25 downloads, which means people are listening. And if you're listening right now, you're a real OG, and I appreciate you. Seriously. My intention with this podcast is to create a space where you can connect with yourself while listening. My episodes are typically short and something you can listen to on a break, a short drive, or while you're walking around the block. Little shifts, little integrations, little invitations to yourself to stop, drop, create coherence. So this week we celebrated Valentine's Day. My wife and I walked around the boardwalk. We went to dinner. We went to the grocery store. And on the way to the grocery store, I said to her, I love doing ordinary things with you. And I feel so lucky, she agrees. That's it. That's the love story. Ordinary life together. The older I get, the more I see the commercialism in Valentine's Day. And also, I love love. I love celebrating love. Both things are true. Valentine's Day can bring joy. It can also bring comparison, loneliness, pressure. When I was younger, when all I had were songs on the radio and movies telling me what love is, Valentine's Day often made me feel lonely, fat, ugly. Or if I liked someone, I felt like I had to bend over backwards, make the grand gesture, get the biggest, most expensive gift, be the most creative. So maybe I could earn approval and affection in return. Sad face. And I think Valentine's Day reveals something about what we've been taught love is supposed to be and what it's supposed to cost. Because many of us learned love is supposed to hurt, that sacrifice equals devotion, that suffering equals depth. When I look back, I learned this from everywhere. Religion, relationships, family, movies, songs, all of it. Every relationship I had, until I realized I had it all wrong, included some version of, if I endure this, it means I love them. But self-sacrifice wasn't serving anyone. I realized something was off when I was genuinely unwell, tolerating incompatible relationships. That was the wake-up call. Growing up, the messages were clear. Self-sacrifice equals love. Love happens to people who fit the beauty ideal. And is it just me? Or is there anguish in every rom-com? Shakespeare, anyone? Songs on the radio? Unrequited love, longing, suffering. The social conditioning continued. If you're not cool enough, thin enough, popular enough, you'll suffer trying to convince someone you're good enough. The social conditioning continued further. Love someone who doesn't love you back. Love someone at the wrong time. Love someone unavailable. Love someone bad for you. And suffer beautifully while doing it. And we see this everywhere, confusing intensity with intimacy, believing passion equals compatibility, staying too long, overgiving to prove worth. And this spills into other areas of our lives. In helping professions and activism, sacrifice becomes proof that you care. Burnout becomes a badge of honor. In families and friendships, we blame other people instead of taking responsibility for our own thinking, feeling, and nervous system. We endure instead of choose. Sometimes chaos feels more familiar than calm because it's what we know. And survival mode bonds people through intensity. In past relationships where neither person's basic needs were met, we were trauma bonded over being in it together. We focused on what wasn't working. We blamed each other. We stayed dysregulated. There is a real bond that forms when people are in dire straits together. And it doesn't always mean the relationship is sustainable. That bond can feel like devotion, but it's survival. And this is where things can get confusing. Because when two or more nervous systems are in survival mode together, it can feel like connection. It can feel like loyalty. It can feel like we're in this together. But what's actually happening is nervous system syncing around stress. If you've ever been in a relationship where everything felt intense all of the time, high highs, low lows, big emotions, big fights, big reconciliations. And then when things were calm, it felt off. That's calm feeling unfamiliar because intensity became the normal rhythm. When our nervous system grows up in or stays in chaos, chaos feels familiar. And what feels familiar feels safe, even when it isn't. So calm can feel boring, and intensity can feel like passion. But intensity is not intimacy. Shared struggle can be a powerful bond, but trauma bonding happens when two people stay connected through survival patterns instead of healing. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's where choice begins. What helped me unlearn this was shifting my focus to loving myself instead of trying to prove myself. I had to grieve old patterns and long-term relationships. I had to learn to process guilt and fear and doubt. Because what if I have it all wrong? What if me refusing to keep doing what I've always done is the wrong move? But everything changed when I leaned into self-love and away from self-sacrifice. I started attracting people who take responsibility for their own thoughts, feelings, and actions. I felt hopeful and safe to be me. Love today feels relaxing. It feels great. I'm so grateful. Safe love feels like a lack of tension in my body. No overthinking. Respectful love looks like listening. And what surprised me most, it's so much easier. It feels so good. It doesn't feel like blame, longing, or self-loathing. If there's one belief I wish everyone would question, it's I'm not lovable. You do not have to torture yourself in the name of love. But here's the thing. You are responsible for learning to love yourself. And it begins with how you speak to yourself, what you think, and what you believe about yourself. I invite you to give yourself the love you want to receive from others. Because when you do, you will never go without again, and your relationships will deepen. When love feels safe, the body feels spacious, relaxed, energized. Create coherence when you notice self-criticism. Create coherence while complimenting yourself. Cultivate capacity for self-love, respect, and grace. If you can relate to this episode, I want to ask you, where did you learn that love requires suffering? Where do you equate pain with devotion? What if love felt safe instead? There is a social conditioning around love. You were taught something, and your nervous system adapted. And you are allowed to choose something new. Love was never meant to cost you yourself. If this resonated, share it with someone who might need it. And next time, we're going to talk about other people's emotions. Until then, stop, drop, create coherence when you need to. If you're ready to build capacity to receive the love you want, instead of recreating what feels familiar, the Stop, Drop, Create Coherence video series can support you. It's a 4-week self-guided practice designed to help you come out of survival mode and build a new baseline of regulation, resilience, and emotional capacity. You can find it at shamantaima.com under the Stop, Drop, Create Coherence tab. That's ShamanTaima.com under the Stop, Drop, Create Coherence tab.